Hi, what I want to do in this video is demonstrate some ways we can mark up content using some of the inbuilt tools of Visual Studio Code. So what I have here is a longish text document inside a basic HTML skeleton. All of my content here is just raw text, so the browser obviously treats it as a single chunk of content. We need to mark it up so that we can style it, so that it can be semantically understood by a search engine, so that screen readers can help someone with vision difficulties navigate the content. So among this text, I've got an element here that should be an H1. And what we might typically do is go here. The slowest way to do it would be to try to type in our HTML tags manually. Visual Studio tries to auto-complete, so I need to delete that and then go to the end and finish it. That is so slow. Slow. So what I'm going to do is remove that content. Here's a better way to do it. If I select the whole line, either by clicking and dragging, or clicking 4 times in the line, or just clicking on the line number and selecting the whole thing, I can wrap an H1 around the element using Visual Studio's inbuilt tools. If I look in the various menus, however, there is no command to wrap. So instead, we need to find it a different way. And the easiest way to find any command in Visual Studio is to use what's known as the command palette. The command palette gives you access to every command in the program, including those that are created by most extensions that you might install. So it's a very powerful command. On Mac, the command to invoke the command palette is Command-Shift-P. On Windows, it's Control-Shift-P. And P here obviously stands for palette. So what we're looking for is the wrap command. So if you type in wrap here, it will filter the list down to any commands that have the word wrap in it. And what we're looking for here is wrap with abbreviation. So if I click on that, and then it says enter abbreviation, I'm going to just type H1, and I get the instruction to press enter to confirm or escape to cancel. Key is remember to press the enter, or when you click in the document, it won't be entered. So that worked. Another thing I can do, if I want to add a class to my H1 while doing this, I could just do the same thing, Command-Shift-P. My last used command is here, so wrap with abbreviation, if I just press return, will be invoked. So if I type in H1 dot, I'm going to give it a class of site title. If we haven't done classes in class yet, don't worry, but classes are something that get used very, very commonly to give us more control of our styling in CSS. So I'm pressing return. Okay. So next, I've got these 4 elements that I want to turn into links inside a list-based navigation menu. So I could go here and command click like that, which would make 4 separate selections. Then if I invoke the wrap command again by going Command-Shift-P, which pulls up the command palette, press return to choose wrap with abbreviation here. If I now type in A, I have created a link around each of my 4 selections. If I press return, it's even quite subtle here. The cursor is now right inside the attribute value, because no A will do anything without the href attribute, where we're going when we click the link. For this exercise, I'm just going to type a £. This will make a testing link. So then we could do the whole thing again where we select 1, select 2, select 3, select 4, Command-Shift-P, wrap with abbreviation, and we could wrap all of these A's in LIs. Okay, so that's pretty good, but there's a faster way we could do it. I'm going to take off those selections. If I make a single selection, so by clicking and dragging instead of clicking 4 times, I have made a single selection that is 4 lines long. I can convert this single selection into multiple selections with a kind of awkwardly named command. If I go to Selection and go Add Cursors to Line Ends. So this is Option or Alt-Shift-I. Not the easiest command to remember. Add cursors to line ends. What that does is it now takes my single selection and puts the cursor at the end of each line. So now I've got 4 selections. No, sorry, 4 cursors. I have 4 multiple cursors. To turn it into each into a selection, I can leverage common functionality on Mac or Windows. On Mac, if I press Command left arrow, it takes me to the front of the line. If I press Command right arrow, it takes me to the end of the line. On Windows, I think Control will work. If it doesn't, my apologies. But I know there is a way of doing this. You just need to find it. So I can go to the front or end of the line. And if I add the Shift key, it will make a selection. So on my Mac, I'm doing Command, Shift, Sorry about that, 1 sec. So I made Command, Shift, right arrow. So now I have 4 selections. I'm going to invoke the command palette again, Command-Shift-P. I'm going to choose Wrap with abbreviation, but here I'm going to actually be a little more complex. If I do LI greater than A, what that allows us to do is wrap the selection in nested tags. So I'm wrapping an A around each of the words, and around each A there's an LI. So press return here. Again, I'm going to put the # in for the href value, which cursor is already placed there automatically, which is a beautiful time saver. Next, I want this collection of LIs to be wrapped in a UL, and I want the whole thing to be wrapped in a nav. So I'm going to select all 4, single selection here, Command-Shift-P, wrap with abbreviation. I'm going to go nav greater than UL. In other words, I'm wrapping our single selection in a UL, which itself is wrapped in a nav. Beautiful. I just need to press return now. Well, notice that I accidentally undid my earlier H1. I'm going to quickly redo it. Wrap with abbreviation. Bang. Okay. So the name of my artist here, I'm going to wrap in an H2. Command-Shift-P, wrap with abbreviation, H2. And maybe I'll give it a class of artist or article title. If we haven't done classes, don't worry. Okay. Next, I've got some other heading levels. I'm going to choose biography. Command or Alt click on death and music. Clicking the line number is the quickest way. Political views in line 85 and Fela revival here. So I've selected 4 elements, 4 or 5, that need to be subheadings of our artist, our Fela Kuti title. So I'm going to Command-Shift-P, wrap with abbreviation, H3. Finally, early life and career, which should be a subheading of biography, obviously. 1970s is part of his biography. 1980s and beyond is part of his biography. There I'm going to, again, Command-Shift-P or Control-Shift-P on Windows, wrap with abbreviation. I'm going to put in an H4 here. Great. So we're marking stuff up quickly and efficiently. So the last thing we want to do here is mark up our paragraphs. And as a way of being even more efficient, I'm going to suggest we modify how we do this wrapping. Specifically, there is no command to wrap in the document. But calling up the command palette and then hunting and pecking for wrap, it's fast, but we could be faster by assigning a keyboard shortcut to the wrap command. And that way we don't have to go through the command palette. So how do we assign keyboard shortcuts? If you go to the preferences of Visual Studio Code, there is an area for keyboard shortcuts. The shortcut to get to it, at least on Mac, is Command and then S. So Command KS, keyboard shortcuts, Command KS. But I'm just going to go to it there. And this will bring up a list of all of the keyboard shortcuts in the program. I'm going to search for wrap. And we see I've got one that I've put in earlier. Yours will probably be blank, if I recall correctly. So just go here and click on the plus sign. And if I'm going to just do I'm going to do Alt-W or Option-W. And when I do that, I get this message that one existing command has this key binding. So I don't want to necessarily overwrite another one. So I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try Alt or Option-Shift-W. Well, let me get rid of that. Option-Shift-W or Alt-Shift-W. And I don't get a warning that another command is using that keyboard shortcut, so this is good. Shift-Alt-W or Option-Shift-W. I'm just going to press return to accept it. Now we see here the key binding, the shortcut is Shift, Option, W, and you can use Alt on Windows. To get out of the keyboard shortcuts, I can either press this X here, or I could just go back to my document. I'm just going to press X. So let's see if we can do the paragraphs even quicker. I'm going to click on line 29. I'm going to command click or Alt or Option click on the remaining paragraphs. And there's a few faster ways than this, but this isn't bad. I'm just going to do these blocks here. So I've got a selection of paragraphs there. And what I want to do is use my newly created command. Option, Shift, W. This takes me now directly to enter abbreviation. So I don't have to go through the command palette. My abbreviation here is going to be P for paragraph. Press return. Save. I'm going to test my document. I didn't do all of the paragraphs in the document, but I did a bunch of them. That's lovely. That's so fast, so quick.